Okay, I lamented at the top of the show that the world's gone a bit crazy. Let's sort it out now. I'm joined by Tim Blair from the Daily Telegraph and Mark Nicholson from Stepmates Studios. Good to talk to you guys. Now, Mark, presumably you went to work today, and you, Tim, presumably you guys work today. Occasionally people in Victoria do go to work, don't you? I know you had a public holiday now for the grand final. I was down there for that a couple of weeks ago. That was a new public holiday added in by Daniel Andrews. And now Jacinta Allan wants to add in another one for treaty or for Indigenous purposes, Mark. What's going on?
I know, it's ridiculous, mate. I nearly had a heart attack when I saw the news that was even getting floated. Not just for my own business and what we've got to pay out, but just for the Victorian debt. We can't lose that much productivity. But to celebrate Indigenous culture, I can already tell you, most of my boys, what they're going to do is they're going to go down to the park and get drunk like most Australians on a public holiday. I think that there'd be a much better, more appropriate, less racist way to celebrate Indigenous culture than that.
Yeah, let's have a look at Jacinta Allan. Here's what she's had to say about it.
There's also the suggestion of a new public holiday in Victoria, which could mark the day a treaty is signed.
The treaty's not just about our people, it's about all peoples that live here on our country.
That's not the hard left Victorian Premier. That's an ABC explainer. Same thing, Tim. The thing is here, there's so many public holidays in Victoria. Soon the calendar will just mark the working days in Victoria.
Absolutely. Well, here's the way that maybe we can, Victorians can have another public holiday without going through, as Mark says, going through the financial and social sort of difficulties involved. Just retrospectively declare all the days that Victoria lost during the lockdowns as pre-public holidays, and then just factor them into it going forward. And you're basically right, because as we all remember, Victoria had a public holiday for a year and a half or something ridiculous. So let's just score those up, and then when that period's run out, then look at the next step.
I don't know. Yeah. Look, it's a good way to live. The one catch is somebody has to pay for all this. Somebody has, and Mark, as an employer, you're in the frame as well. You're in the frame to actually pay for them. I want to go to US politics, where everything is a lot more sensible. All you have to do is look at the New York Times and their latest headline, and they've rehashed a story, certainly with a credible figure, with a former chief of staff to Donald Trump, John Kelly, again saying that he's a dictator and suggesting that he has said positive things in the past about Adolf Hitler, and the Democrats are right onto this. Here's the Vice President today.
It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans.
Yeah, as the old adage, Mark, that whoever first invokes Hitler sort of uses the argument, but they're actually saying now, Adolf Hitler, Donald Trump, same thing.
Yeah, you can just smell the desperation now. You can even actually see it on her face there as well. She's terrified. They're absolutely rattled. But you're right. This is the classic out of the playbook for the left. That's it. But once you throw out Hitler, they think that's the trump card that's going to win them everything. But it's not. I think look, people don't understand that Trump supporters don't care what Trump says. They care about what he stands for. The only people that care about the exact words that Trump uses or what he said and all that sort of stuff are Democrats. They're the only ones that care. Like most people, just they want Trump to be undisciplined, say ridiculous things. He's anti-establishment, all that sort of stuff. That's what they like about him. So really, all she's done is just put a spotlight on one of the reasons why Trump supporters love him so much.
And what confounds me, Tim, is, they've been unsuccessful really in killing Trump off for the last decade, yet right when it's getting close and the polls are narrowing on the eve of the poll, so what strategy do they go to? They go to the same strategy they've used for the last 10 years, and that is demonise Donald Trump. Have a look at this little excerpt from a town hall with Anderson Cooper from CNN. She's just out with it here.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes, he's a fascist, Tim, even though he's been president before and he's running in an election to be president again.
Absolutely. Remember a few weeks ago, or really a few months ago maybe, when when Kamala Harris was selling joy as the message of her campaign. Where's the joy gone? In the meantime, you've got Donald Trump smiling and laughing and interacting with people as he hands out burgers at McDonald's, and they're all like, "They're McHitler burgers, you fascist monster!" They've lost all the joy, and when you lose the joy in American politics, you might be losing the race.
They want to kill Trump and kill Ronald McDonald, and that's how they're going to bring joy.
Yeah, they brought Grimace instead, and they're a sour old crew. Yeah.
Would you like Grimace with that? Yes. I'm going to show another clip of Kamala Harris. Sorry to do that to everybody at home, but I think you're going to enjoy this clip. This is quite extraordinary. She sat down for an interview, and she was pressed, of course, on how bad Joe Biden was. How his faculties were not up to the job of being president. Have a look.
Joe Biden is an extremely accomplished, experienced, and capable in every way that anyone would want if they're president.
You never saw anything like what happened at the debate night behind closed doors with him?
It was a bad debate. People have bad debates. He is absolutely...
But that's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
Whoa!
He's doing so well, Tim. She should pull out of the race and let him recontest.
There's a whole lot just happening in a very short time in that clip, wasn't there? I mean, for a start, when Kamala was reeling off all the reasons why Joe was so great, there wasn't a lot of eye contact. She's like, well, he's really great and fantastic guy, totally honest about this. And then at the end, you'd have to ask him about it. His brain's so scrambled, he won't give you an answer, so to hell with you. Yeah, she's all over the shop.
She's so strategic. She's so clever, Mark, that when she's telling everybody how brilliant the serving president is, she doesn't even think that they might then ask her why he's decided not to recontest.
You're spot on, mate. This is the thing. You've noticed this as well with all her fracking stuff. All she's doing is she'll just say whatever they tell her to say. But then what happens is someone asks a very simple question and she's completely lost because she's off the script. I just want to play a game of poker with her because that tell is so it's so see-through. She's as transparent as Glad wrap. It'll be beautiful.
Look, she needs an advisor to have a look at what's going on in Australia. She's got to learn how to play politics. You just give out free bus rides, free lunches, and public holidays. That's the way to get elected.
Yeah, simple.
Now, I'm actually going to undermine that theory because I want to go and show just how stupid we are in this country. Let's have a look at what's happened in Western Australia here. First of all, a famous painting at the Western Australian Art Gallery was attacked by these climate activists. Luckily, there's a piece of perspex in front of this famous McCubbin painting, and so their Woodside emblem only went onto the perspex and didn't damage the actual painting. But now the West Australian Museum has paid, we don't know who, how much, to get that bit of perspex and keep that as a bit of history. They want to immortalise the climate action vandals, Tim.
Well, these people always consider art that which doesn't offend them. I mean, I know that people always talk about wanting edgy art and so on, and this would fall into the edgy category. But let's say the WA museum's administrators woke up tomorrow morning to find the driveways outside their very impressive houses blocked with a 4-ton statue of a vandal. Let's put it back on them and see how they like it, because no one in Western Australia or Australia likes this sort of vandalism stuff, and we hate it even more, I guess, when it's being rewarded and supported in this sort of way. It
shouldn't be rewarded, Mark. Perhaps the solution here is not to keep that perspex and put it on display at the West Australian Museum, but build a perspex box and put one of the protesters in there and just put them on display.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I like that, Chris. You're an artist. That's better.
That's better. Kidneys. I'm a thinking man.
Yes.
I'm up there with Kamala Harris.
And I was... the big brains. I love it, mate. I was going to go down and get one of those big bags of vomit that they were using down at the protest just the other week here in Melbourne and see if I could sell that to the museum as well. So that's all this is.
You should.
It's just activism that they're trying to capitalise. Yeah,
exactly. Some of the horse dung, everything they're down there. Take it to the West Australian Museum.
Yeah.
They'll pay for it. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good, obviously another long weekend, presumably in Victoria. We'll see you when you get back to work eventually. Mark Nicholson and Tim Blair there, both coming from the great state of Victoria.